Today it's Tuesday, July 12, 2022. This is our regular CRA Board Meeting. It's 5:44 and 45 seconds. The meeting is called to order. Madam Secretary.
Thank you, Mayor. Vice Chairman Desilme? Board Member Galvin?
Here.
Board Member Timothy? Board Member Estime Irvin? Chairman Bieneme?
Yeah,
Mayor, at this time, we do not have quorum.
thank you very much. And before moving forward and have another call for the meeting, in the meantime, let's please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance with a prayer. I don't know, can you pray? Huh? No? Thank you very much. We are waiting on one additional board member before we can start. And some faces in the audience. I see Vanya. How are you? You're the only one I see in the audience. Uh-huh. And yes. Yeah, I know.
So what's the plan yesterday? Why we were putting a plan without talking to them first? Huh? Okay. And of course, we're gonna go and do the wall approval and the plan at the same time, correct? Yeah. Oh, wow. Yeah, I spoke to Mr. Fernandez. He said it was very problematic. I think it was done, you know, during the time. And I was like, aware of it.
Thank you. Thank you very much. It's 5:47. And let's call the meeting again. Tuesday, July 12, 2022. It's actually 5:48. And let's call the meeting to order again. Madam Secretary.
It's actually 5:46, Mayor. And
Oh.
Vice Chairman Desilme? Board Member Galvin?
Here.
Board Member Timothy?
Here.
Board Member Estime Irvin? Chairman Bieneme?
Here.
Chairman, you have a quorum to proceed.
Thank you very much. Let's move to the consent agenda.
Unless a member of the CRA Board wishes to remove a specific item from this portion of the agenda, Tab A constitutes the consent agenda. This resolution and item is self-explanatory and is not expected to require additional review or discussion. This item will be recorded as an individually numbered resolution adopted unanimously by the following motion: that the consent agenda comprised of Tab A be adopted.
Can I have your motion on the consent, please?
So moved.
Second.
Thank you.
I have a motion made by Board Member Galvin to approve the consent agenda. The motion was seconded by Board Member Timothy. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries with a 3-0 vote.
Thank you very much. Now let's move to the agenda.
Mayor,
Yes.
if I can add to the agenda, if we can defer items 3, 4, and 5,
Wait,
to the
Item 3,
4 and 5.
3, 4, and 5.
Yes, I feel like item 5 with us, with the new CRA director, getting ready to come on board, want to make sure that they have an opportunity to know, update our plan, provide their professional opinion, you know, maybe tweaks, see where there's, you know, room for improvement. I think that that's fair. And item 3 and 4, with us not having a full council, I know I'm not too comfortable with those two, so I don't want to be the reason why they fail tonight. So I would
Okay, and
respect that we move them.
when it comes to item 5 is the redevelopment plan and recommendation. It's not a new plan, it's like an amended plan, right? You want full council to be there. Do we have a deadline, Mr. CRA Attorney? about
For the plan item?
Yeah,
No, there's no deadline.
okay,
In fact, this might give us some time to meet with the county
okay,
and go over it in advance.
Okay.
As I did speak with the county today,
okay.
and they were asking how come we hadn't met with them. And the person, of course, Rasha Kamal, had been out of town, so
Okay,
it might give us some time to meet with them ahead of time.
okay. As far as item 3 are concerned,
Yeah, item 3 and 4, well, I
know
know,
what you're concerned for item 3?
well, item 3, I know I had some issues with the policies, and I know other commissioners expressed it as well, and they're not here today, so I didn't want to
Okay.
be the only one speaking when we don't have a full.
Okay, item 4,
And item 4, I realized that what they provided, the guidelines weren't attached. So normally, we would, you know, submit the items with guidelines, because those are no longer in our, they're not in our budget currently. So these items will have to come back to us again with different resolutions with the guidelines, and I feel like that item is not complete. Like, I had questions, we just sent a
Okay,
bullet of this.
but
is
you
what-
know, those items are, it's a CRA project, that's when we have the CRA guideline. Everything gonna be based on the CRA guidelines.
Well, no,
Since,
some of them are new. So wouldn't you have to come back with new guidelines for these programs, Mr. Attorney?
Each of those items would come back to you at the time that the project was implemented. For example, if there's an agreement to be entered into, the item itself was just providing an allocation for budget purposes of the funding of the $666,000, so that we could carry it over into the next year's budget. I believe that we can probably do that as part of the budget when we approve the budget when it comes up,
Okay,
which will be at the end of August or September.
so they would have to come back before us when there is, you know.
if it's something that the CRA never done before, maybe they will create some guidelines, but if it's previous
Yeah, but some of them
project,
are new,
so
yeah.
whatever is new, they're gonna come with some guidelines by the CRA anyway. That's when now is the allocation of the money.
I would prefer that that it was listed like with, you know, completely, because if we're gonna have to pick each one and have to pick it apart, I would rather the commissioner who sponsored this item be here to defend his item. I don't wanna be a nay vote and kill it. I just would rather he be here and us have a real discussion about these items.
And how many votes do we need?
Excuse me?
How many votes do you need? How many votes do you need?
2 out of the 3
It's,
were
there's
passed
3 of
tonight.
you, so there's 2 out of 3.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, since it's the money been allocated forever for the district, and any project who doesn't meet the guideline, we have to amend the CRA guideline to allow those projects to move forward, and I think with the new CRA team, they well, and we have an attorney who understand clearly what the CRA is about, and the project coming in, like marketing. I think that's something that we all know what it is. The sprinkler program, it's something that, and we've been talking about months, and especially when if we don't use that money right now, that's mean the money gonna have to be reallocated at the next year budget, and we won't come back until another
Correct.
2 months.
Oh, so this
It's
has to
better
be
to
used in
allocate
this
the
fiscal
money.
year?
Yeah, we have to
Oh,
spend the
okay.
money.
We
Okay,
This
that's
fiscal
fine.
year that's been,
Spend
we're
it
gonna
or
move the
or
project,
allocate it.
whoever is not, yes.
So you either have to spend it or allocate it to another line item within the budget
Yeah.
somewhere.
Correct.
Okay.
And this would become
Okay.
part of the budget amendment that we'd be doing at the year end as well. So that was the purpose of this particular item.
Okay,
Okay.
thank you very much. That's
So-
mean,
So could
And,
you
I
restate
don't
your
mind.
motion?
Now I'm gonna give you the motion. The motion, I'm okay that we remove item 3 and item 5
Okay,
of the agenda.
okay.
I'll second the motion.
Thank you very much.
Well,
All right,
I'll
I have a
remove my
motion to
additional motion.
To defer items 3 and 5 made by Chairman Bienemay, seconded by Board Member Galvin. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries with a 3-0 vote.
Thank you very much. Item 1.
Agenda item 1, resolution of the Chair and Board members of the North Miami Community Redevelopment Agency approving the funding for Kayla at Library Place LLC for a mixed-use project located at 13100 West Dixie Highway, North Miami, Florida 33161, in the form of a tax increment recapture incentive of 50% of projected city ad valorem tax revenues from the time the project appears on the property tax rolls until the North Miami CRA sunsets, parentheses, approximately 20 years. Authorizing the Executive Director and North Miami CRA Attorney to negotiate and finalize an agreement with Kayla at Library Place LLC to provide funding for the development of a mixed-use project, authorizing the Executive Director to execute the agreement, authorizing the Executive Director to take all action necessary to implement the terms of the agreement, and providing an effective date. Agenda item 1.
Thank you very much. And a quick question, Mr. Sidat. Until the CR is sunset, but I see we attached 20 years. You said something about 20 years, right?
It's approximately 20 years. It's
Can we remove that
2044.
until the CR is sunset? Let's say after 2 years, the county decided to sunset all the CRAs. You know, stuck with the.
That's the way the agreement will read when we enter into it. It'll be until the sunset of the CRA,
Okay.
whenever
okay.
that is.
Whoever come first.
Yeah, because once it happens, there's no ability to rebate the taxes at that point.
Okay. Thank you very much. Let's open it to the public. Do we have a presentation, Madam Executive Director? Do I have a presentation? Or someone else say something? Madam Executive Director.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was going to read the cover memo.
Yeah.
Okay. A tax increment recapture incentive request is presented for your consideration by Kayla at Library Place LLC. Kayla at Library Place LLC is proposing to redevelop the property located at 13100 West Dixie Highway, currently home to the Greater North Miami Chamber of Commerce and a parking area. Applicant is requesting up to a total of $5,324,797 in the form of a tax increment recapture incentive through 2044. It must be noted that the tax recapture incentive request is for the net present value of the tax increment projections. Kayla at Library Place LLC is proposing to redevelop the site as follows. 1, a 10-story, 138 mixed-use project. All units will consist of 1 and 2 bedroom, 2.5 baths with an average size ranging from 660 to 930 square feet. 2, approximately 55 affordable housing units at 60% AMI and 83 units designated workforce at 100% AMI. 3, amenities include modern and attractive on-site amenities available to residents, including a rooftop oasis and barbecue grills, a clubhouse, a gym, a business center, and conference room, and a package room center. 4, 249 parking spaces with an average distribution of 42 spaces per floor. The CRA's redevelopment consultant has reviewed the application. The project has a construction cost of $59 million and is expected to generate approximately $687,838 in 2026 tax increment revenue following completion. The city portion of the projected net new TIF in 2026 is $424,002, resulting in an initial tax increment recapture incentive of $212,000. The CRA's consultant has reviewed the assumptions provided in the applicant's project information sheet and TIF pro forma and has determined that they are reasonable, and the estimated value of the incentive through 2044 is $5,324,797, or 9% of the project cost. The applicant is in the audience. Should you have any questions?
Yes, sir.
State your name and address for the record.
Absolutely. Pedro Gasson of Holland Knight with offices at 701 Brickell Avenue. On behalf of the applicant, Kayla at Library Place, I will make my presentation very short. I had a presentation. I'm not sure if the staff is able to pull it up, but if they're not, I can quickly go through it. I think the CRA director has done an excellent job of covering some of the key items. I want to take a quick step back and sort of provide a quick overview of what we had provided for and what we had requested to the CRA. We made an initial request for an $18 million subsidy as part of our request for the CRA. Given the fact that we're developing 138 units, we're going to provide over 7,000 square feet of retail. That's going to include a business incubator at the site. And we anticipate that given the fact that all of our units are going to be 100% of AMI or below, that we're going to need some additional subsidy. And working with the CRA director, we were able to work on obtaining a recommendation for the $5.3 million in TIF funds. But what we would be asking for is that the delta between that $18 million and the 5.3, that we be able to receive that benefit when the funds are available. So subject to fund availability, if it's to the will of this council to entertain that. One of the things that we think is important is that the site's location is immediately south of the North Miami Library, Public Library, and it provides an easy and efficient access to provide for key public goods and public access for the residents of this community. And we think it's one of the few, but we're looking forward to with this board and with the city council of working on further fully affordable projects that we're going to be doing as part of the development on the site. So we are hopeful that we would be able to get that delta, but should it not be within this board's purview or willingness, we would be happy to accept the TIF as it is today.
Thank you very much. Let's open it to the public. Public hearing is open on item 1. Public hearing is now closed.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. By the way, for IT in the back, none of my devices are working up here, so during the break, please help me get everything pulled up. I'm now doing this from memory. You mentioned 155 units with 38
138 units.
and 55 being affordable.
So this is an interesting question with respect to what constitutes affordable. So in the city's code, you define affordable/workforce housing as between 50 and 140% of the area median income. So technically, all of our units within the site are affordable. And then the state statute has provisions that go up to 120% of the AMI, which would also means that all of our units are affordable. There are different personnel who may have a different perspective on that, but the city's code and the state statute appears to recognize that this development in this city would be 100% affordable. Okay. Now, as
So
broken...
Hold
oh,
on,
my
'cause
apologies.
For staff, is this 138 affordable housing units, or is it 55 affordable housing units?
55 housing units at 6% AMI and 83 designated workforce at 100% AMI.
So yes, break it down for me. Remember, I'm a simpleton. I need to hear it in plain language.
Okay.
Are we talking about 138 affordable housing units or 55 affordable housing units?
For professional review and opinion, I'm going to invite Mr. Kevin Crowder to the mic.
The website's not working. Oh, geez.
Good evening, Kevin Crowder with Business Flare. Board member, Ben was right. There are different definitions of affordable. From my perspective, affordable housing in general, regardless of how it's defined in different documents, is 80% AMI and below. And workforce housing is that piece that's between 80% AMI and 140%. And that's generally how we look at it. In here, and I believe that the way that it's drafted in the item you're looking at is there are the 55 units at 60% AMI as affordable, and the 100% AMI being the balance of the units defined as workforce. And those are consistent with that 80 below and then 80 to 140, which is traditionally, and I believe under the HUD guidelines, those are the definitions that we traditionally work under.
So you are saying that this is 138 affordable housing units?
No, sir.
Okay.
55 affordable and the balance of workforce housing.
Okay.
Right. Still income restricted, but just with a higher threshold that reaches into the workforce threshold above the 80%.
So why are we doing something different here that we've not, at least to my memory, we've not done before? Why are we Why isn't there a percentage of these units that are market rate, so to speak?
The workforce.
That's up to that's the developer's proposal. Sir.
So Board Member Galvin.
Okay, but you guys have brought it to us, so it's, Mr. Gasant, I need to have a conversation with staff, please. You guys have brought it to us. I assume it's coming with your blessing. If it's not with your blessing,
Correct.
please let me know now.
No, sir, you're correct, it is.
Okay, so why are you suggesting that we make this 138 units of, affordable housing? Affordable housing is great. My concern is that the entire property would be affordable housing and then, have a reputation, a negative reputation. So why did you bring this forward to us? Why do you bless this evening? Why should I feel confident? Not talking to Mr. Gasant, the applicant, looking at staff. Why should I feel confident in what you're suggesting?
Well, when CRA staff met with city staff and preferably the city manager, we all had a meeting in the boardroom, and it was discussed that this would be a great benefit to the city and that this would be something different for the city and a benefit to the city
So
and its
nobody on the
residents.
city or the CRA's side had any concern that the entire property was going to be affordable housing? Am I wrong? Excuse me if I'm having a mental blip. Would this be the first property we've approved that would be entirely affordable housing?
You've approved one, I believe,
Rocks Park?
Gardens, which is workforce. Now, it's up to the
The
workforce
type of
thresholds,
affordable.
not the
Okay.
affordable threshold.
So I'm wrong. This wouldn't be the first time we're doing it because we've already done it at the gardens.
Correct.
Okay.
We
Thank you.
prefer, and we agree, it's nice to see projects come forward that have an element of affordable housing, but also bring the market rate. But the affordable housing is one of the priorities of your CRA plan.
Totally agree. And another comment I would have is that we need to keep a list that's accessible by everybody, including the public, of how many affordable housing units we've provided. I'll get into
Yeah.
this later on in the council meeting. I'll get into it later in the council meeting. Get it. I'll let that slide. Have my concerns. I'll let it slide for right now. Next question for staff. Parking. Where do people park for this, for Kayla?
So if you refer, do you have the proposal in front of you?
Nothing is working right now.
I
I'm
got nothing.
going totally blind.
How many parking space?
It's 249
On site,
on site.
okay. People from the chamber have expressed concern to me that it will displace people who are parking for North Miami High School, adult school at night. Do you foresee any displacement, and what type of discussions have you had to address that?
I can say when it comes to the church, to the school, at night, you don't have a lot of students with cars. It's most likely the church and the school that's create the issues. And now the church is about to move and in November to a new location outside of the city.
Out of the 249 parking spaces, are they counting our public parking spaces as in that number?
Our library parking spaces?
Like, is
No. The
okay,
answer is no.
because there's public parking around that, and sometimes they can use the,
Yeah, no, I get it. And here's my suggestion. The high school has a parking garage. I think it's a 3 or 4 story parking
Yeah.
garage on the west side of the building. I don't think anybody hardly parks in there. Everybody just parks at ground level out front and walks in for convenience. I don't want us, I would love to see us tell the school to tell their students, if you're gonna park, if you're gonna come in, there's this beautiful unused parking garage, please park there, so that the Kayla has enough parking to do what it needs to do as well. That's what I had said to the chamber members who'd approached me. There's a parking garage. I don't think anybody uses it.
Yeah.
I know there was something else that I wanted to ask, but I'll defer any other questions, and thank you, board members, for being patient with me.
I have some questions, Mayor.
Yes.
I, for one, am excited to finally see an affordable housing project. When I think we can specify what affordable means, and I think with this agreement, I think we should take a look at that. So when we're structuring the AMI and they're saying 60%, how can we counter that to ensure that when we do set a cap, that it's affordable for who? Because if you look at Miami-Dade County, 80% AMI in Miami-Dade County is $54,000. So a lot of our residents probably won't benefit from if you're one person making $54,000. And there's some people who are probably in the, 30% or 50% AMI. So I would like to see a structured, like, hey, we have a certain amount at 30, a certain amount at 50, a certain amount at 80, 120, not just up to 60%, because if that's the case, it can all be 60%, and that's one person making $60,000 a year. So when we
family, they're talking
no,
about
one person,
Okay,
family
one person.
size. So if you look at Miami-Dade County's AMI chart that's effective April of 2022, the income caps are there. So, and I think it's good to include them as well, because when we're saying 60 AMI, 30 AMI, no one really knows what those numbers are. One person making $54,000 is at 80% AMI in Miami-Dade County. So even our North Miami residents would probably not benefit from a project of this magnitude.
Yeah, but Councilwoman Timothy, you need to understand something. While we are bringing affordable housing to the people, we need to protect the single-family home. And right now, nobody wants any project next to the single-family home. That means they don't want 100% project. They need mixed income, mixed use housing. That's mean mixed income, the teacher can live there, the firefighter can live there. At the same time, some units can be put aside for people living on fixed income.
Yeah, no,
But-
that's what I'm saying. I'm saying
but what I'm trying to
just
tell
needs to
you,
be broken
I
down. Like my
understand that.
house is 2 blocks away from that project.
I
So I
understand that,
understand
but what I'm
that.
trying to
And
tell
we-
you, the people, we prefer mixed income instead of 100% affordable housing. That's mean we don't put a group of people at one location, luxury at another location.
No, I understand that.
Everybody should be able to live anywhere in the city.
I understand
and I
that,
think the concept of mixed income housing, I even went with Odd, I was at the White House and at a conference about housing. Nobody want project in the area. That's why they come up with the concept of mixed income housing where everybody can live.
And that's why I think we
That's-
need to have different, like, it just shouldn't be one number at this percentage.
But it's already
because- yeah.
regulated per Odd and I'm pretty much sure, yes, sir.
So, Mr. Chairman, in order to address the question, all our agreements, when there are affordable housing components, will specify the number of units at the specific AMI and define that as whether it's a one-person household, two-member household, 2 bedrooms. So, based on whatever the application is that you're approving tonight, that's what would appear in the agreement. So if you want something different than that, and you want the 60, up to 60% to have a certain number at different levels, then we're gonna have to approve that, differently, or say that we're gonna sit down with the developer and negotiate something.
I'd move we continue this item until we have a chance, A, to have a full council, and B, to have those types of conversations. The mayor articulated better than I could my concerns, too, about the project, about the
Okay.
location.
Okay, as far as, why don't we compromise? As far as funding, we will come back with it, let's approve the TIF, and then as far as funding, we can put condition on the funding as a compromise.
So what's before us now, the TIF or the full 18
Both.
million? Both?
When the fund is become available,
Tonight
it's
is the
two
TIF.
component in there.
She's saying tonight is just a TIF.
Tonight you're just approving the TIF request, correct?
But
Yes.
I know.
So the mayor is correct. We had made a request while I was on the dais to
Yeah.
be able to include the delta as part of the request. What the mayor is suggesting now is to excise that portion of it,
Yeah.
which is the 5.3 and the 18 million, and just focus on the TIF today, and then we can
Correct.
come back for the balance. And I don't think we have any objection to that.
okay.
Yeah, and then from then, can we?
Along with a breakdown of
Yes.
the affordable units and
Yeah.
how you all want those allocated.
Thank
Okay.
you.
Okay.
So I would draw my motion to continue so that we can
Yes,
second
move
the
forward.
mayor's
Did we open it to the public already? Public
Yeah.
hearing was open and
we did.
closed, okay. Can I have
Yes,
a
you
motion
did.
on the
We did.
item?
So move.
Second.
You made the motion, Mayor.
Oh.
And it was seconded by Board Member Galvin.
Oh, okay.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries with a 3-0 vote.
Thank you, board members.
Agenda item 2. A resolution of the chair and board members of the North Miami Community Redevelopment Agency approving the funding for Partners of 645 LLC for an office space project located at 643 and 645 Northeast 125th Street, North Miami, Florida, 33161, in the form of a tax increment recapture incentive of 50% of projected city ad valorem tax revenues from the time the project appears on the property tax rolls until the North Miami CRA sunsets, approximately 20 years, authorizing the Executive Director and North Miami CRA Attorney to negotiate and finalize an agreement with Partners of 645 LLC to provide funding for the development of the office space project, authorizing the Executive Director to execute the agreement, authorizing the Executive Director to take all action necessary to implement the terms of the agreement, and providing an effective date. Agenda item 2.
Thank you very much. Do we have any presentation?
Good afternoon, Sebastian Semla, partners of 645 822 Northeast 125th Street. We did provide a presentation of the before and after. I'm not sure if it's going to be presented.
Today is just a bad day.
I didn't see.
So I'm going to read the memo before.
Yeah, let's
No,
not do
listen,
that.
no,
Yeah,
let's
reading a memo.
That's been you don't.
Okay.
You did a presentation before this board, before?
No, we had the CRA meeting yesterday.
The
and
advisory board.
the
Advisory board?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But I haven't seen it.
Yeah.
The presentation
They don't
is in
have
your
it up?
packet.
Huh?
It's in your packets. You didn't submit one.
You don't have any visual presentation.
Well,
no
within the
visual.
application are the pictures, I guess.
Yes, it's
Yeah.
in the
Oh,
application itself.
But the question that we have, and we only approved TIF on new developments.
Correct.
This one was there before, no?
No, so this is, we're demolishing an existing building, and we're putting a new
demolish.
development in its place.
Don't tear down the Taco Bell.
It's
We're not
across the
tearing down Taco Bell, that's not ours.
It's next. Okay.
Do you want to see my binder?
Let's open it to the public. Public hearing is open on item 3. That means a 100% complete new project.
That is correct.
Hmm?
That is correct,
Okay.
yes. Yes.
Okay. Public hearing is now closed. Board member? Is there no question? Can I have a motion to approve the item?
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion made by Board Member Galvin to approve Agenda Item 2. The motion was seconded by Board Member Timothy. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries with a 3-0 vote.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Agenda Item 4. A resolution of the Chair and Board members of the North Miami Community Redevelopment Agency allocating the $666,000 previously allocated for capital projects and initiatives in District 4 to specific District 4 capital projects and initiatives, authorizing the Executive Director to take any and all action necessary to facilitate the funding allocation to specific District 4 capital projects and initiatives, and providing an effective date. Agenda Item 4.
Move approval.
Let's open it to the public. Public hearing is open on item 3. Public hearing is now closed.
Move approval.
Now second.
I have a motion made by Board Member Galvin to approve Agenda Item 4. The motion was seconded by Chairman Bien-Aimé. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries with a 3-0 vote.
Thank you very much. Mr. Semla, are you acquiring the 2 building or just one?
It just has one.
No, it's approved. Not just a question.
So the 2 buildings are under one folio number.
Oh,
and-
it's one folio.
And we own
Okay, okay.
both of them.
Okay.
One of them is being torn down because it's structurally unsound.
Okay.
So we're tearing that down, and we're putting a new three-story glass and
Okay,
steel
okay,
structure.
okay.
Yeah.
No, okay. I just saw the picture. I thought it was one building. I just realized it's two.
So they're connected,
Okay, okay.
but it's a new building.
But the karate is not a part of it.
Karate, no.
Next to it, the dance studio.
So
It's
there's a one-story little building on the right
yeah.
and a
the-
two-story building on the left.
Okay, those two-story buildings.
This
on
two-story building is staying, the
Okay.
one story is being torn down with the new three-story.
Okay.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you very much. Next item on the agenda, Madam Clerk, that's item 4. That's item 6, right?
Agenda item 6, a resolution of the chair and board members of the North Miami Community Redevelopment Agency appointing Cornelia Shiver as the executive director of the North Miami Community Redevelopment Agency, approving the employment agreement between Cornelia Shiver and the North Miami Community Redevelopment Agency, authorizing the executive director to execute the employment agreement, authorizing the executive director to take all steps necessary and appropriate to implement the terms and conditions of the employment agreement and providing an effective date. Agenda item 6.
Mr. City Attorney,
Yes,
you
sir.
sent us the agreement. Can you give us like
Certainly.
a review of what?
I'll briefly tell you the differences between the employment agreement that you had previously entered into with Ms. Camo, the prior executive director, and this proposed agreement with Mr. Shiver. So it's essentially the same agreement. It's a 2-year term, commencing tonight, obviously, and then you have the ability to extend it if you like. The termination provision has been amended, and these were amendments requested by Mr. Shiver that we've discussed and incorporated. So the termination by the CRA has now been amended to basically be the same procedure that you would use if you were terminating the city manager. So under your city charter, you have a procedure, and basically you have to adopt a resolution specifying the reasons for removal. The executive director can then reply in writing and may request a public hearing.
The same process.
Yes, it's
At
the
the
same
city
process.
manager,
So if you're familiar with the process that you would use to remove the city manager, he requested, and we've incorporated the same process here in this agreement. The base salary, before we get to that, the severance provision, in the event that you terminate the service of the executive director without cause, Mr. Shiver requested that we increase. Yes, it's the same, for the termination procedure. Okay.
Besides that, everything is the same as Mrs. Camo.
No, it's not.
What else?
Okay, so the severance has been increased from 20 weeks to 26 weeks. And unless it's otherwise provided in Section 215, 415 Florida statutes, I can tell you that Florida statutes only allows at this point in time for 20 weeks of severance. Okay. I don't have the city manager's contract. I can tell you what this was.
Your mic, Mayor.
I'm talking about the same provision with the city,
The
the way
same,
the code is written.
yes, but the code does not have the
26,
severance.
I know. You said
It doesn't have the 26.
20 weeks. You said 20 weeks.
20 weeks is what the statute allows.
I
So
understand, but he proposed 26.
Then if I could be
Mr.
helpful, I'll take the 20.
Okay.
20 will be fine, let's resolve that.
Can you please state your name and address?
My name
for
is
the-
Cornelia Shiver, my address is 3095 Plaza Street, Coconut Grove, 33133. 20 will be fine with me.
And that's fine, we'll make it the 20. I was, I guess the idea was if the statute changed and allowed more.
20 will be fine with me.
Okay,
And in fact, to make it even simpler, everything would be fine with me that was in the original contract. Even the disclosure of outside employment.
right,
I'm fine with that too.
that's already been revised, so
Okay.
that's not even, we don't even need to discuss that. The salary is 195, and the contribution towards the retirement plan is 12%. It was 10% before. Everything else is basically the same.
Okay. That's been the amendment we are doing now is 20 weeks instead of 26, right?
Correct.
Okay. Is there any question?
Mr. Shriver, you had mentioned to me, thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Yes.
You had mentioned to me that you currently work for
The Swirlo
the
Group,
Swerdlow Group. Will you continue to work for
No.
Swerdlow Group?
if I have the good fortune of having this contract approved, I'll be submitting my resignation 2 minutes afterwards. In fact, they are contingent upon this approval, I will no longer be employed by that group.
And will you be employed by anybody, any other CRA or other outside entity that we should be aware of right now?
None whatsoever. Now, will be sitting on the board of the Naranja Lakes CRA, but that's in a board member in a voluntary position with no compensation in South Dade. Other than that, there are no other disclosures.
And you're comfortable that Naranja Lakes is obviously far enough away that that's not going to somehow conflict where you're having to choose between one of your Naranja CRA projects and one of your North Miami projects?
Well, if it becomes a conflict, I'm going with the compensation and the volunteer have to wait.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Shriver, and thank you for the phone call.
And you know,
since last-
Mrs. Rasha was on the board of the 79 CRA when she was here and the
And-
7
and you may know
She
that I'm
was even
the-
the vice chair of that CRA.
I'm the attorney for the Naranja Lake CRA, so
Right.
I'll be there with Mr. Shiver
Exactly.
as well as here.
And my appointment is pending also, your approval of that. I haven't been appointed as of yet. I want to make sure that I take care of this matter first. I'm being sponsored by Commissioner Keone McGee, and he understands this is my priority.
Thank you. If there's no more question, can I hear a motion on the item?
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion made by Board Member Timothy to appoint Cornelia Shiver as the Executive Director of the CRA. The motion was seconded by Board Member Galvin. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries with a 3-0 vote.
And I just want to thank you, thank you.
Welcome.
Welcome.
Thank you very much. No more item. Is there any reports?
I would just like to congratulate Mr. Shiver on being appointed the CRA Executive Director, and once again tell him that I look forward to working with him. I think we'll be able to do a lot of good work here, as he's done in the past with the city of Miami. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I wanna, at the same time, I wanna thank,
Gail.
Mrs. Gail McDonald for being the interim executive director for the CRA for about 6 months, and thank you for everything you have done to move the CRA forward. And I think Mr. Neal looks forward to working with you for the betterment of the Community Redevelopment Agency here in North Miami. Thank you
Did a
very
good
much.
job, Ms. McDonald.
Do you have anything to say before we move
I
forward?
just would
and
like
call
to
adjourn?
Thank the commission for your appointment. It's been a challenge and a journey. I want to thank Mr. Attorney, Mr. Kevin Crowder, and I welcome Mr. Neil Shiver, and I look forward to our future working together. Congratulations.
Thank you very much. Any report, Mr. City Attorney?
I gave my report, but I'll also congratulate Gail and thank her for all her work over the last 6 months. Thank you, Gail.
Thank you very much. Can I get a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Thank you very much.
I have a motion to adjourn made by Board Member Galvin, seconded by Board Member Timothy. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries with a 3-0 vote. The time is 6:26 p.m.
Thank you.